Hey beauties, happy Friday. It's Friday right now, and hopefully I'll be posting this before the night is up. But hey, what's up? Hope everybody is good, enjoying their week. It is the weekend of Mother's Day right now, so happy Mother's Day to all the mommies, new mommies, old mommies, grandmommies, you know, single mommies. Today I am finishing up one of my lampshades, so I figured I would do little chit chat videos since I don't normally post. However, things are changing. I'm gonna start posting a little more. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I don't have a mic necessarily, just using headset. So yeah, I'm trying to finish up. I've already done one of these. I have a little short. It isn't necessarily like a how-to yet. I do have video though, so if anybody would like to know like exactly what I'm doing, the process, what I'm using, all that good stuff. Basically, this is just my own design. I did not have any thoughts going in. This was plain, it was white, as you can see back here. I still have some darks to add, but basically I just had a vision. Gray. I wanted various shades of gray to match my gray walls, and I have black cabinets. My kitchen and my living room, dining room, they kind of all flow together. So my couches are gray, and yeah, that's really all. I have kind of like grayish purple and grayish greens, but yeah, you can literally do anything. So, okay. Possibilities are endless when you do your own project. So I just have my little setup right here. I'm literally just using Five Below watercolors, okay? You don't need anything fancy. Watercolors will set with heat, but all I'm doing really is kind of finishing this up. The black lines are what takes a lot. And I chose black because it's a good accent color, and a majority of my accents, shelving, stuff like that is all black in my living room. And of course, my kitchen. Greetings from my kitchen today. The purpose is to create a shaded effect. So, as you can see here, I'm not sure how well it will look on camera though, but the point is there. There's a short that I kind of do a fast run through of. I haven't really posted in a while. I've allowed myself to get off track and lose focus at times with my personal goals. I am still creating in the background, but my problem is you know, following through right now because I have so many recordings and I do capture a lot of things. I love editing, but you know, I gotta work with what I got. I use my phone, which is a little tedious because it's a phone and it's not all that great. It's not big. So I try to edit as much as I possibly can without getting a migraine. I also suffer from migraines. So yeah, if anybody ever would like a migraine video, you know, something like how I deal with my migraines or something like that, as far as getting older and not wanting to take a lot of prescription drugs. I really don't like taking over-the-counter. I mean, it does something to your stomach, you know this. It does something to your liver also. And in my 20s, I had horrible migraines to the point that I used to take so many different prescriptions that after a while, you know, you get used to it. I just remember my physician changing my prescription every month, to the point where she wouldn't even give me prescriptions anymore. She would just give me samples from her stash. And I would try the samples because, keeping with one prescription, of course, just in the same thing, and once those were gone, I would switch to something else if needed. But yeah, it was bad for a while. My 20s were the worst. I had to see a chiropractor because of the nervous system issues that I was having, and that all tied into my migraines. All stemmed from taking a birth control that unfortunately ended up being recalled, and I was on that for a very long time. It was the patch and the shot. I remember I did them kind of like after I did the patch, then I switched over to the shot, and then that was the one that was recalled. It ended up really messing with me, and I had my daughter, and then I went on that, and I didn't have a period for like 3 years, okay? And that was crazy, okay? That was crazy. And honestly, when I went to the chiropractor, it was a good learning experience, because you assume you're going to the chiropractor because you just want to take care of your back and its bones, you know, and you don't really think nerves. But I had a nice little learning experience, and my doctor was awesome, and he's just like, Joy, you're stopped up. He's like, it's no wonder you have lower back problems, honey. You're super stopped up. Your nervous system has a lot to do with why your back is hurting. And you know, eventually I was getting these horrible migraines that had me on the couch for about a week at a time, and I would get cluster migraines. It was the pits, because my baby was little then, you know. My daughter was probably like 2 or 3, and that's prime time, you know. She wanted to be up running around, and here go me literally on the couch for days at a time with these horrible migraines. And you know, back then I really didn't educate myself as far as natural things go. So it's like, oh, my mom says go to the doctor, I go to the doctor, and if they say I need to take this, I take it, you know. And I learned my lesson the hard way. And over time of all of the prescriptions and going back and forth with trying to get things worked, like what worked and what didn't work, and having 2 different MRIs for my migraines, okay. Yeah, I ended up having some issues with my liver. Go figure. Never really a drinker neither, and I can't drink for the most part. I try to drink, and I've had my fair share of drinks, but definitely not how you would feel. It's like I would just rather not do that to myself, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so shorten that up as much as I possibly could. But you know, like I said, if anybody can relate, and maybe, you know, leave me a comment, let me know. I do a couple different things for my migraines these days. I do no longer smoke cigarettes, so if anybody remembers when I used to smoke cigarettes, that took a lot of years. But at the same time, it didn't. So it's like you have to be grateful. You know, you start seeing like your friends around you change because of the way they look, or because of the, you know, extracurriculars that they're doing. And that kind of makes you open your eyes a little, and you're like, I need to stop, because I'm probably 1 or 2 years older than a lot of my friends, and I still believe I look amazing. So my skin looks great. Yeah, I might have had, you know, a couple road bumps here and there. You know, everybody has stuff. Everybody grows up. Everybody does their fair share of experimental, recreational, extracurricular, recreational. You guys know what I was trying to say. But in any event, we've all been there. And if you haven't, I mean, you know, then hey, maybe not all of us have experienced certain things, and that's fine, whatever. I just know what I've gone through and what I've done, and I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to have a healthy life still into my 40s, and, you know, been able to accumulate and comprehend all of those life lessons and actually learn from them. And honestly, my migraines is where it all started, with me wanting to be an herbalist and wanting to bake my own edibles and treats and, you know, stuff like that, because there's just so many benefits and naturalness in the world, you know, and just to have a sustainable life. I think that's the way to go. And I think herbalist should be something like you know, artist. Like if you're going to school and, you know, you get what I'm saying, like you should go to school and you want to be a musician. If you want to be a musician, they teach you music in school. You want to be an art, they teach you art in school, science. You get where I'm going. And biology, yes, there's limited biology though. And then when I was in high school, you couldn't get those classes unless you specifically were going to be graduating to do certain things. And I don't know, I went to a weird school. I just feel that having a garden and learning how to tend to a garden and tend to a greenhouse, home ec, learning how to cook, all of those things are benefit. All of those things are a necessity for life skills and just being, you know, somebody who can take care of themselves. So I fully support all of those things being taught in school. When I was in school, there was home ec, there was sewing classes, there was, you know, even the shop classes where you got to learn how to build little things. And even though it wasn't even anything that, you know, I would have used necessarily, you learn the basics, you learn structure. And I feel like our kids are missing out on some of those really good teachings, you know. Right now, my goal in life is to have sustainable living for myself. I would love to have a little homestead, shoot, even my own little cabin, my own little tiny house, you know, not necessarily tiny house, because I want my kitchen to be as big as a tiny house. Let me just be real, okay? I don't need all that space. I would love to have like the majority of my house be a kitchen. And then above the kitchen, I have a loft, and that's like my bed area. And then I have a studio, because, you know, I have to have an art studio where I can journal and paint. And, you know, and then of course my vanity area for my makeup, you know, I have it all in my head, but I would love that. I would love to be able to live off of my own land and have my own garden, grow my own herbs, my own tea blends, you know, all of that stuff, which I do to a point now, but it's hard when you're renting, and it's hard when you don't have your own, because you don't want to start doing stuff in a temporary yard, you know, and then it's like all of your hard work kind of goes down the drain at that point. I don't want to waste, I know people say grow where you know, where you are. However, to a point, I just don't feel like I should be investing the money in a place that is only temporary. So, you know, yeah, like potted plants and like little kitchen gardens and stuff right now is my go-to. Although I do utilize my yard. I have a lot of pine trees where I stay and lots of random weeds that are growing that are very beneficial. Okay, so squirrel moment, but also my phone died. So yeah, welcome back. Yes, we were talking about herbs and natural weeds that, you know, you have growing in your garden that you can use that are health benefits, or that have health benefits, and that can have a positive effect on you. Pine needles, I was saying, you can make teas, and it's like an antifungal, antibacteria thing, but I was reading that if you're pregnant, you should not ever drink pine needle tea, or apparently they used it for, you know, if you had an unwanted pregnancy, let's just say. So it's not necessarily good for pregnant ladies to drink. And this is just something I read. Like I said, I don't necessarily believe everything that I read, but it seemed legit. I also follow a lot of natural herb type channels on YouTube, and there's this man who was giving a pine needle recipe, and he mentioned that also. So a lot of things sometimes, you know what I'm saying, just take a little research, but for the most part, there's so many benefits to a lot of things that we have literally right outside our own front door. Enough for rambling. We can address the elephant in the room. I know y'all talking and looking at my hair. Okay, it's okay. I've been a little lazy. Only because it is a transition stage right now. If you've been following my Instagram or my Facebook, or you just know me personally, you know that a few years ago I started over on my natural journey, and I basically shaved my head. I didn't shave it all the way down, but it was pretty short. It was less than an inch. I had a nice old pixie, and it was really cute, and I really digged it. All my natural curls and everything came back. My texture is that of, I have fine hair, but medium texture. Go figure. But my fine hair, like I brush it out, it's like a little baby, and you just get a fro. And I had a lot of curls when I was younger. But, you know, I wanted to be like all the girls at my school, and I wanted my hair to be straight. And my mother, being the great beautician that she was, cosmetologist, she combed a perm through my hair multiple times. So I would have straight hair. And the older I've gotten, my curl pattern was really out of whack. Right now it's brushed out, so this is definitely not at all what it looks like if I was just to let it air dry. But it takes a little work nowadays. It takes work and time and care and TLC for my hair. That rhymed. I just kind of been, well, it's not natural. Clearly, it's not natural anymore. And I did bleach it. Now, I don't use heat. I still don't use heat on my hair. I mean, if you want to consider bleaching it heat, okay. I do put, you know, chemicals as far as lighteners and bleaches on my hair, but I am a, you know, licensed cosmetologist, so I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Initially, I do take good care of my hair, but everyone gets lazy, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even about being lazy, it's just sometimes I'll have a stage where I don't want to do anything with it. Barely even wash it sometimes. I mean, speaking for my thick textured girls, you know what I'm talking about. You're not trying to wash your hair all the time. It just dries your hair out. I like to let my hair sit, and my hair doesn't get dirty like that, so I like my natural oils to accumulate on my scalp to replenish my hair. I mean, it's just natural, that's it. So I'm just saying that right now, it's looking a hot mess. It's not all that great. I had a little rose gold in it just to give it some kind of, you know, dimension for a little bit, but I had it platinum and then it started growing out, and I just came to a stage where I was like, dang, I put bleach in my hair. It's not, you know, it's not how it was when I was having it natural, but I really missed being able to color it. And so I figured that I would color my hair ombre so that when it starts to grow out, then I'll have my dark roots and then the ends, but of course my hair would be natural. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a lot of grays in my hair. I love them. I just wish there was a pattern, like if I had some streaks or thick streaks or something, but no, it grows like it's highlighted gray. Mind it, I like it. I'm trying to embrace my natural journey, but I've really been wanting to lock up my hair. But one of the things I hate most about hair is doing my own hair. It's just something like, I used to be on it. In high school, I was all over my own hair. I used to wake up 2 hours before school just to use a little tiny, the size of my pinky curling iron, a Revlon mind you, and all over my hair. Even though, going back, my mother used to straighten my hair. But I would sit there with the curling iron, right? Such a freaking, just counteracting. Like, back then I didn't even embrace my hair that way. And my mother's hair is very fine and thin. And growing up, she had very straight hair, and she used to curl hers, and she would also set it with rollers and sponge rollers, you know, and those really hard brush rollers, you know, that used to kill your head when you would sleep. And she used to set her hair all the time, and I love that. And it taught me to set my hair a lot, and I did a lot of protective styles, but also, you know, my mom didn't have any kind of curl in her hair, and as great as she was with taking care of mine and my little sister's hair, it wasn't preserving styles necessarily. So those were kind of things that I learned for myself growing up, and then of course going to beauty school myself, just learning about, you know, how to take care of your hair and heat damage and all of those things that you don't really pay attention to. You just want to look cute when you're in high school, you know. My biggest issue with my hair and going natural is the coloring. And as much as I think about it, and it having like how I grow old is how I envision my hair being locked in majority of the places, but I still want that, you know, I want my fringe to be out, definitely in my baby hairs, because I ain't got time for that. But, you know, I kind of see my hair having like my natural curls coming down in the front, and then, you know, my hair locked, and with the ends being light, I can still color them if I felt the need or wanted to. And then eventually when it grows out long and I don't have a need for the coloring, I can chop that part off. But, you know, I don't know. I'm still way ahead of the game because I haven't even done anything yet to my hair. So we'll see. But that's my goal. Right now, like I said, I'm just trying to get it a little healthier. It's a little dry right now. I haven't put anything in it, so it's just shampooed and then air dried, but I brushed it out. So right now it's not looking all that great. And I've been putting it in a scrunchie. I've been to the beach a few times. I've been to the lake already a few times this year. So it was not necessarily protected the way that it should have been. But yeah, all that rambling, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just sitting here chilling. I don't have anything going on. Oh, actually, this weekend I am pet sitting for a friend of a friend, I guess. A friend of a friend. An associate, friend of a friend. My little Lola and my little Coco. I think they're gonna have a fun time. It's another female dog and she's older. So I'm really hoping that she'll bring a chill vibe for the crew. They are on their way to drop this little bundle of joy off. Little bundle off. She's a cutie. She's a little small dog just like mine, thankfully. So I don't have to really be bothered with a giant dog or any of that. It'll still be chill. The month of April, I did not really do too much. My birthday was in April on the 12th. I was told by my leasing office that the bug guys were coming that day. It's just precaution, you know. And so I waited and I waited and I waited, and I'm like, wow, the day is just getting away. Now, mind you, I was taking advantage of the day. I was chilling, hanging out, watching some shows. Who's watching Good Girls? Because that's one of my shows. Right now, I'm kind of hooked. I started it late, but I binge watched it in like a week. So I'm all caught up, and the new episodes are coming out. It's kind of been my go-to show. That was my shit. And Ghost. It's like, I think that's what it's called, Ghost. And it's on Netflix, I believe. This couple buys a house and they turn it into a B&B, and it's got ghosts there. And it's actually a really good show, and it's got its funny moments and all that. I don't even know how I find some of these shows. But I've also been working on recipes. I have a lot of shorts out. I think it's a lot. I could definitely do more. I do have some videos that I've been filming and some stuff I've been working on that I just haven't posted yet, but I definitely have some more food videos in the works, and you know, how-tos or questions or any of that stuff. I guess my whole vision is really just kind of helping, you know, creating a community for myself and friends for myself who are like me, who can relate to me, and, you know, maybe I can encourage you to step out of your comfort zone and do something a little different. And a lot of my friends that I've come to realize, which I didn't necessarily know, they don't cook. I didn't necessarily know that a lot of the people that I know don't cook. And some people are intimidated by cooking, or they're just scared, or think they have no idea how to cook. And I like posting little videos, honestly, just to show you, like, homemade stuff is easy. It's not all that hard. It's not intimidating, and then you can make it your own. But also the ideas, like everybody knows, sometimes that what's for dinner is, you don't know, you can't figure it out all the time. It's good to have other ideas, and there's a lot of different foods that I'm not a fan of, but I have taken somebody's recipe that may have been like nothing I would have ever made, and then made it my own by adding whatever spices or changing out the meats, or, you know, flavor combos or whatever, just to make it mine. And we're getting somewhere, guys. I know you can't really see what I'm doing while I'm talking, but I only have this small section, and then that's all, folks. But yeah, food. So I feel like I'm doing my part by at least sharing ideas, or even a different technique. Some people don't know. I grew up with a Puerto Rican mother who was a melting pot of flavors and culture flavors in her food. So she cooked soul food, but with a Spanish twist. And sometimes it blew my mind, because I would go to a Spanish place and I would try the rice, or I would see what my mom would cook on the menu and I would eat it, and it had nothing like the flavors my mom had. So I always kept that same flow. My mom also had a catering company when I was younger, and she used to just be very minimal in certain foods that she would make, like chips and salsa, stuff like that. These people would eat it up, okay? Eat it up. And it just really showed me that it doesn't have to be all that fancy. And, you know, she sold it in little jars, and it was cute little bags, and it was like a country feel. And it wasn't all showy, but it was amazing food and amazing salsa. And, you know, all the things that I accumulated from that and learned, and I kind of take it now with me, and then I add all the extra natural benefits that I've been learning, and really taking the time to understand what goes into the food and the recipes. I have a video out, and I was talking about just natural herbs and, you know, feel good food and energy. And I think that's something that not a lot of people pay attention to when they're cooking. And I love that, because, you know, you're giving your friends and family who are enjoying your meal something to enjoy, like literally something that they can feel good. Even if food is a comfort for them, they can feel good while they're eating it, but then they can also feel good inside because you got certain herbs, and, you know, I love it. For me, I love, like I said, trying new recipes. I've been looking at a lot of country people's recipes lately. I don't know, I've been watching all the Southern ladies, and, you know, when in Rome. I am in Georgia, so for anybody who doesn't know, right now I am in Georgia, and I love seeing the originality and the basics of a recipe and where they originated, and watching old channels from like the 1800s where they reenact how they made bread and what they did when they made the bread and what went into it and how they stretched out the dough and what they added to stretch it out, good or bad. But I love watching all of those old videos where, you know, people reenact 1800 recipes and stuff. And some of that stuff seemed like it would have been good, but I don't think that they're adding as much flavor as people would add back in the day. But, you know, that's just my opinion. So like I said, I'll take it and I add my own. I also watch a lot of other YouTubers who, honestly, they're so much like me, or homesteaders. I thrive to be a homesteader. That is my future. I'm gonna have my own little cabin, my own little cottage in the woods, so to speak. I watch this channel, and I'm gonna hype them up because I love them, okay, you guys? It is called Project Camp, okay? They don't know me. They don't know anything about me. I'm not paid to endorse anybody at all on my channel. However, I gotta give credit where credit is due. I've been watching these people since the beginning, and it is a good cause. They bought some land in Portugal, and it was like a land that was taken over by a forest fire, and they are restoring the area, regrowing the trees in the area, but natural trees and all of the natural plants that grow in the area, they're trying to bring back to that location. And it's a group of homesteaders, basically, and a group of friends and homesteaders that bought this land, and they record their projects, their daily projects, but it's called Project Camp. And all of these people from around the world, they go and they camp for a couple months here, a few weeks here, and they help with the Project Camp. I think it's like the coolest thing. I want to go to Portugal, and I want to help them rebuild these lands after the forest fire. I think it's really cool. That's one of my favorite things to watch. I think that if I had a homestead, and, you know, of course it's my land, I want my friends to come with your RV, come with your little campers, park, hang out with me, and, you know, help me with my garden, or help me with that. That's just a cool ass concept. That's just me. Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute? So we're gonna try this little setup out. Excuse me if it's a little wonky, but hey, y'all can see my nose. Well, super close up, right? Natural joy in all her glory. This looks like something I don't want to say, but it tastes amazing. Drop an Oreo in your hot coffee before you add anything that you're going to add. I don't add sugar, but I'll do put a little bit of cream in mine sometimes, non-dairy cream if I have it. But Oreo, pour your coffee, let it sit and get all nice and soft and everything, and then stir it up. Of course it's going to be clumpy. Of course it's going to be weird. Yes, we know that. There's oil in the cream. It's going to settle. And cool. Just stir it up and listen. It's so good. And then pour your cream or whatever. I don't think you need to add sugar, but you might, depending on who you are and if you like the flavor of coffee, which I've recently come to realize that not a lot of people who drink coffee like the flavor of coffee, right? Which is funny to me because I love the flavor of coffee. So, again, I'm rambling. See this? You see me rambling? That's what this should be called. Just the ramblings of joy. Little view of what I'm doing. A little view of my face. Hey. I feel like this video is just a bunch of rambling and odd chit chat, but that's okay, right? Because I never get to just kind of chit chat with y'all or post any actual vlog videos, which I'm a product of circumstance. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever's going on, whatever the situation, sometimes it hinders me. I've allowed it to hinder me, let's just say. I'm not going to allow things to hinder me anymore because I've realized that I've really overcome so many different things in life, so many obstacles in life, and just being who I am as a person. I've always been able to be resourceful and get things done, okay? So at this point now, I'm like, you already know that you're gonna do it. Just do it. Like, you know the outcome is going to be this, just do it. It might be a little hard in the end or in the beginning, I mean, but in the end, it will all come together. Like my videos, like I said, sometimes it's not as easy as we would like it to be, right? But if there were no challenges, there'd be no changes. And without change, there'd be no butterflies. Come on. So, I sometimes like a challenge, but we all know that in life sometimes challenges could just be a little bit too much, and you know, we need a break every now and then from those challenges. I feel like it's all about how you take it and how you view it. Some of the worst times in my life were just because I did not handle it the way that I should have, or mentally I allowed myself to be so down on myself, or unfortunately hate myself, which please don't hate yourself. Love yourself. Look in the mirror every day and know that whatever you've had to do in your life was for a reason. I don't regret anything that I've done. I sometimes get upset with the choices that I've made, but it's all a learning experience. Even when it comes to certain people that I allow myself to be around or care for, you know, you have to not be so hard on you. Now, honestly, the times that I've ever gotten down, okay, were not even me. It was other people's doings. And one of the things that I've realized is I'm not going to allow myself to be in that energy anymore. So if it has nothing to do with me and I can't do anything about it, I'm going to do my best not to allow that to bother me, because in the last year, let me just say that I've tried to be a good person. And in doing that, you tend to allow other people to feed you information that may or may not be true. Okay. Was I rambling again? Because I get distracted. So, I don't know, this view, I don't know, do you guys like it? It's a little awkward for me to do what I'm doing and keep it staying focused, but you see my vision. Lulu's here. Alrighty, now that our little doggy friend is here, everybody's chill. Coco's still getting used to new friends. She's not familiar with her just yet, but you know, Lola and Lulu, they go way back. But Lola still got to make sure she know, hey, this is my house. But they're good. Everybody's chill, having a good old time. I hope you guys all enjoyed my little chit chat paint with me. If anybody wants to know all the how-tos and the exacts on how I painted the shades, I do have some videos that I can post, or you can just comment and I can explain it. Also, I don't want to leave you guys, you know, all willy-nilly. I'm going to throw in a recipe for you. And this is literally just all of the things that I've had in my freezer and my fridge that were either going bad or like the leftovers of it. So a little bit of this left, a little bit of that left. And I decided that I was going to make kind of like a stoop, if you will, kind of a cross between a soup and a stew. Again, if you would like a list of all of the ingredients and herbs and aromatics that I used, definitely leave me a comment and I will gladly post the recipe in the description below. I started off just sauteing all my veggies. And like I said, this was all of the things that I just had in my fridge. So I have some green onions, garlic, jalapenos. I had, of course, everybody, you know, pantry staples, the can of tomatoes and cream of mushroom soup. I had some beef broth. I'm actually going to do my own spin of a I believe it's like a wedding soup where it's like the meatballs and all that. It definitely seemed like the best idea because I had a pound of turkey, ground turkey, and I figured what better way to flavor that up, because we all know ground turkey sometimes needs a little help, but it ended up being really good. I also put, you know, cayenne and a little chili pepper in mine, and it was really, really good. I have so many layers of flavor in this. I cooked all of the soup portion, the veggies, all of that in one, and then I cooked the meat separate. And so I made the meatballs, and then I sauteed and browned those up in my cast iron with the peppers and onions, and I added spices to the meat, and then I also added spices to the peppers and the meatballs. So there's so many layers of flavor in this, and again, this is a dish that is so easy to recreate with whatever your preference is. So if you don't like spice, then you can put whatever seasonings. Maybe you like barbecue sauce, maybe, you know, different kinds of vegetables. I know I tend to like carrots, and a lot of people around me don't like carrots, so you can swap anything out. It's yours. You're the creator. You are the master of disaster. Haha, no, you are the queen of your kitchen, okay? You got this. Or king. And of course, I definitely needed a bigger bowl. Yes, we know this, but I didn't feel like looking, and this was in the dish drainer, so I just grabbed what I had. And I'm also going to add a cup of rice, and I cut up potatoes, and I'm also going to add that up. So rice, potatoes, it's honestly just a filler. This is just kind of like to make it a little more filling. Also, again, I had some leftover parboiled rice, and I don't typically buy that. It was given to me, so I was like, hey, why not? Let's just throw that in there too so we can get rid of it. And honestly, this is the best dish for stuff like that, when you just need to get rid of something, or get rid of, you know, stuff that's about to go bad, all of your onions or veggies. I try to do this at least once a week. I find lately that if I am paying attention to, you know, creating newer recipes, that I actually am using up all the produce, which you all know, sometimes it does go bad. Everybody wants to eat the fruit, nobody wants to eat the veggies, but I've been really trying to incorporate a lot of fresh veggies in our meals, because I usually do a one pot done and done, you know, it's one of the easiest things. So everything in a dish. Casseroles are starting to become another one of my favorite things to make, although I've been reinventing mine. So, and then like I said, this is kind of like a soup, but really it's a lot thicker and very hearty, so it was more like if I was eating a meatball stew. And it was really good. It was really amazing. It did not take any time, honestly, just as long as I needed to, you know, cook everything through and brown up the meatballs really good. That was it. It definitely didn't take me an hour. So it was, you know, fast, easy. Prep was a little more than cooking it. Of course, you do need to cut stuff and do all that. But then again, if you're somebody who has, you know, the means to take shortcuts and you buy all your veggies pre-cut, there you go. That's one less step you have to do. And if you're like me and you like food recipes and new food ideas, share your pages below if you have a food page, or if you have a favorite food page, or maybe you have, you know, some go-to recipes that you just love. I would love some new ideas. I always like making different things and, you know, entering it into my little repertoire of dishes and creating, you know, my rendition of it and all that. So, you know, share. I love, you know, finding all types of new people. YouTube has been one of like the best communities so far, and honestly for me it is one of the most inspiring. And I hope I can inspire you guys. I hope you guys will all try to recreate some of my dishes, or even recreate some art, or maybe start something new of yourself, a new art journey. Maybe try to journal or doodle. You remember we used to doodle all back in the day. We all drew that one little dog with the spots, you know, that little baby. You know, we all drew that weird little funky S, you know. I hope you can all be inspired and be creative this weekend, and also have such a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. I hope everybody enjoyed watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe. Try it out. Leave me a comment. Let me know how it was. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And thank you again for all of my previous subscribers, my friends, my family. I love all you guys. I hope everyone is staying happy and high like the butterflies. Take care, all.